Hello, my name is Stephen Morantz, and I'm a volunteer for the Solarize Springfield Long Meadow program. I'm here with my fellow volunteer, William Morey, and we're going to have a discussion about the Solarize program, what it entails, what it's about, and we're going to start doing that. And Bill, I leave it to you to start.
Well, Steve, tell the people a little bit about how we got involved with the program with Springfield and the state and all that stuff.
The Pioneer Valley Planning Commission actually was the originator of this program for us. It's a statewide program. It's run by the state of Massachusetts, the Clean Energy Center. We submitted an application with Springfield. We went with Springfield because their volunteer committee also had some very good expertise on the solar. We also went with Springfield because it's a large community, and we'll get into pricing was made a difference with the larger the community. And so we put in our application. The state said, yes, we accept you. We're going to give you some money to help publicize this. That's the state thing. The state we then put the thing out for bid. We had 12 companies respond. You were there, the volunteer committee from Springfield, the volunteer committee from Long Meadow, and the state vetted the 4 finalists. We had 12 applications. We got down to 4 finalists. We vetted, we talked to every one of them. We ended up with an installer who is now in the process of installing systems in our town and the city of Springfield.
They've already started then, that's good.
Good. Yes.
Tell me, why the pricing we're getting, Steve, is, from my understanding, is excellent. How do we get to that price?
We got to that price. It's one of the reasons the state wants as much solar in the state as possible. That's why they're pushing this program. The concept is, between Long Meadow and Springfield, we said we're going to have so many homes put on solar. This is our expectation. We asked the vendors, give us a price. What will you do? We want a set price for installations. Now, when we put our panels in 3.5 years ago, it was me and my wife and one family, not bulk pricing. When you say we're going to have 30, 50, 100 families do this, the pricing gets very good. So it's bulk pricing. Our installer gave us an excellent price. And really, when we say 20 to 30% cheaper than if you just did it yourself, that is correct. So on the expectation that there are going to be a lot of homes, and that's one of the reasons we went with Springfield, that's why we got such a good price.
Well, that sounds great, Steve. What can people do if they've got questions? I do know there's a meeting tonight they can come to, but I don't think we're going to be aired by then. But what can they do to ask questions, or where do they go?
They should go to solarizelongmeadow@gmail.com.
Okay.
That's, again, solarizelongmeadow@gmail.com. And from them, they will end up being scheduled for an appointment, and they're off to the solar races.
So they can sign right up there at the Solarize program online and make an appointment?
Yes.
Great.
Correct.
That's great. What the first appointment, what do they do? I don't think they're going to come out and start pounding panels in your roof. What's the procedure? The procedure is the installer will ask you for your electric bill if possible. They will also, given that this is 2019, they'll have an aerial view of your house. So they're going to come to your house, and they do have some fantastic software for this. So they're going to come to your house and say, well, here's what it looks like from space. Here's what panels might look like on your roof. You said, this is your electric, and they'll come with your electric bill, or you'll show it there, and they'll say, well, you need to generate so much electricity, you need so many panels here, or there. They actually have a part of the program shows the sun that revolves over your house for 365 days a year. So they'll give you a pretty good idea of how much power you need to generate. They'll come up, and then they'll give you some ideas, then they'll come back to you with a specific proposal with this is how many panels we think you need, and this is the cost it's going to be for you for installation. So they're really trying to, they ask for your bill so they can use that as an estimate, I'm assuming, of how much electricity they should try to generate with their panels.
Correct.
Okay, makes sense. So they're not trying to over-generate.
It's a lot like The Price is Right. You want to get the right. You don't want to go over.
Right.
You don't want to be too short. So yes, they want to match your needs.
Well, that's great. Now, Steve, I understand there's a federal tax incentive for the program.
Yes, there is a 30% tax credit. that you get, federal income tax credit. So, for example, if you had a system, and this is out-of-pocket cost, you had a system that ran you $15,000, 30% of that would come off your taxes. So in reality, your out-of-pocket costs would be $10,000. There's also, I know you might ask this one, there's a state tax credit of $1,000. So now you're down to your out-of-pocket costs of $9,000. And on top of that, because I know you're going to ask this one as well, there's a state incentive called the SMART program. The SMART program provides you money depending on how much electricity you generate. And that goes on for 10 years. And that is transferable. You sell your house, the person who buys your house continues to get these SMART payments for 10 years. So the estimated payback between what you come out of pocket, what you save on your electric bill, because basically you're not having an electric bill or a very small one, and these SMART payments, within 5 to 6 years, and probably closer to 5, after you've got all your costs recouped. And then it's essentially free electricity for as long as the system lasts, which could be 25 years.
Well, so I guess what's going to happen, from what I'm understanding, I'm going to generate electricity during the day. I'm not generating at night. So if I'm over-generating during the day, which I would be, I think, what happens there? Does that power, I think, goes back to the grid, and then that offsets what I use from the grid at night when there's no sun?
Yes, except I would sort of look at it larger, but that's correct. You're generating, so ideally, like now, if it ever stopped raining, and you generate a lot more electricity May, June, July, August, and you're going to most likely generate more electricity than you use. And therefore, the electric company is going to say, you don't have to pay us any money. We owe you have a credit of $75, $50, $150. That builds up. Then you get down to November where the sun doesn't shine nearly as much and you use more electricity than you've generated. You then start using the credits that you've stored up over the year. So you may owe $50, but if you have $150 worth of credits, you don't owe them anything. And that's the way it goes.
There was one question I remember hearing at one of the meetings, and I did look it up on the internet, frankly. Not that the internet's always right. What does it do to the resale value of your home? Because I think many of us are looking at not being there for the 20-year period. And I was reading, they were talking on the internet of an increase with solar somewhere in the 4.1% range. I'm not trying to pin that down. And I've also talked to a home evaluator from a bank, and he said it's worth more, obviously. The key thing, he says, it's pretty young in their experience. They sold.
Right. Good question. Here's my answer to that. What our installer told us was, and I don't know where they actually got their numbers from, but he said it actually increases the value of your house, I think, by $18,000 was the numbers he used. To me, it's just a matter of common sense. I buy a house that if I buy it within 10 years of when the system's getting on, I'm getting money from the state for generating power. And B, if I don't have to pay an electric bill for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, how can that not be a cost added? Yeah. So, and then aesthetics are aesthetics. To me, I think they're beautiful. I think you would see them on someone's house. It will look fine, and I think the more installations there are, my belief is they're a lot better looking than telephone poles and wires, and we'll get used. If we got used to those, we can get used to solar panels on people's roofs. So, but I think the bottom line is, by definition, it has to add value to the house.
Yeah, I certainly could agree. Now, Steve, how long does this program last? It's not going to go on forever, is it?
It's not going to go on forever because the installer doesn't want to end up having to offer this price forever. So for residents of Springfield and residents of Longmeadow, if you sign up to have a home inspection or a site visit by May 31st, that's the deadline. After May 31st, it goes back to whatever the normal everyday pricing is, not the bulk purchasing pricing. So between now and May 31st, if you say, I want a site visit, and tell us that, tell the installer that you're good with this price and you do want to do this you want to do this now because the price is good through May 31st. And you also want to do it for the federal tax credit. The federal tax credit of 30% starts to go away after December 31st, 2019. It goes down to 26%. That's a 4% difference. This is not insignificant money. And then it goes down after that. And then it goes to zero, I think, in 2022. So between the price that we get, the federal tax credits. If you want solar in Long Meadow, now is the time to do it.
Good. Thank you.
You're very welcome.